You may not know what all the texting acronyms stand for, but as soon as you see DMV, you know we are talking about driving and rules of the road and licenses and tags. Today, the North Carolina DMV Commissioner, Wayne Goodwin, is with us talking about all the new rules and all the tricks of the trade as well. He's also taking your questions today. So how do you get your question to him? You text it to us, 336-379-5775. All right, Commissioner, let's first and foremost talk about the new rules that started January 1.
Yes, and these pertain to teen drivers, and everybody probably recalls that a lot of rules changed during the pandemic. It used to be you'd take a year of driving as a teen driver with a permit. During the pandemic, it was shortened to 6 months, and then it went back to a year, and that concerned folks. So the legislature passed a law last year that said starting January 1st of this year, that the new time for driving for the teens is a 9-month period. And you must also have at least 60 hours of driving, daytime and nighttime, and be at least 16 years of age before you go to your level 2 permit. So that's a big change, but it is a much better than waiting a whole year.
For sure it is. At the very bottom of that graphic, we had a thing that said no grandfathering in. So what does that mean?
Well, basically, it's that if you were eligible previously but did not take advantage of getting your going to the driver's license office before January 1st, then you can't be grandfathered in. It's just a matter of having operations work smoothly. So, and we gave plenty of notice to folks statewide. You and your station and many others broadcast about that. And there's just a small segment of the population of teen drivers that were caught in that. But, you know, at the end of the day, several extra months of driving makes those teens even safer. And I bet the parents and the public appreciates that.
For sure. Every one of us drivers appreciates that. All right. Let's talk about some questions that we get here at the station. I know you get them too. We're going to put up this first question. And this first question says, how often can I renew my license online?
That's an excellent question, and I'm glad somebody asked that, because it is important to know this, is that when you go in person the first time for your driver's license or your state ID, then that ID lasts for, if you're under age 66, it lasts for 8 years. And then you can renew online at the 8-year mark and then not have to go back in person until year 16. So if you're under age 66, in most instances, you only have to physically go to the driver license office once every 16 years. Now,
that's like a gift.
Oh, yeah. When people hear that, particularly if they've been in line, I'd say, hey, what's an hour or two if you only have to do it once every 16 years? Now, there is a difference if you are 66 or older. I'll be happy to share that if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go over those details, because when it comes to renewals and ages, there is a difference of all the timing.
Yes, there is. And when someone is age 66 or older, instead of there being an 8-year cycle, there's a 5-year cycle for the driver's license, 5 years. So when you go in person, you then can go online and renew 5 years later, and then you don't have to go back in person until the 10th year. So there's still some good news there for our older drivers. Once every 10 years, that's not a bad deal. I particularly like the once every 16 years that we have, so long as you use the online service and go to myncdmv.gov to learn more.
Okay, and so this is interesting. I'm glad that you said that, and we're going to put that in our web story as well. Sometimes people Google renew my license in North Carolina, and it comes up with something that is not really the DMV, but it looks like it's the DMV.
This is an excellent reminder, excellent lesson of the problems folks face when they just go online and click on the first thing that comes up. Please make sure when you're searching about anything pertaining to DMV that it takes you to a .gov website. Unfortunately, the internet is the Wild West, and there's lots of businesses that are legitimate and not that try to take your services away from the DMV and charge you, or maybe do worse. So when you click on something about the DMV, make sure it's a government website, .gov.
Okay. This is a follow-up question to something that we just answered. Someone is asking, how long does it actually take to get your license when you renew it online?
Well, when you renew it online, just as if when you renew it in person, it will take approximately 10 to 14 business days. So you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks to receive your credential in the mail. We several years ago, North Carolina moved to central issuance, so all the credentials are mailed out from one location, and they will come to you at that point. If you haven't received it by then please notify your local driver license office. The temporary credential you get in the interim is good for 60 days. But so be on the lookout. 10 to 14 business days, you should have your plastic credential.
Okay, before we go to break, I want to get to one of the second most common questions that's ever given to anybody from the DMV or here at News 2 as well. And that second question is, do you have any tricks to getting an appointment any faster? What are your tricks?
Well, first of all, you should plan ahead. If you believe that it's time for you to renew your license or to get some other DMV service, first find out if you're eligible to do online service. Second, if you do need to make an in-person appointment, plan in advance, because you can, by law, you can do that up to 6 months in advance of the expiration of your driver license or credential. So plan to the extent possible to make an appointment, 2 or 3 months out. They're very popular, and they're in the morning hours at all the driver license offices. So the first thing is plan ahead. Second tip is that if you are in a big city, it is likely you may get quicker service at the driver license offices that are in the periphery in your community. So if you drive 20 minutes or 30 minutes and you only have to wait 0 to 30 minutes, it's better than waiting 2 hours. But we have lots of reports of folks who are getting quicker service now than before.
Yeah, because you don't have to go in the county that you're registered in.
No, that's the beauty of it. You can go to any driver license office in the state, and again, appointments are in the morning, walk-ins in the afternoon. And if appointments don't show up and you happen to be there, our staff will work you in to be But please don't do what some folks did the other day. I was in an office visiting, undercover boss, and somebody showed up for a road test. They showed up at 4:30, and the office closes at 5. So arrive early enough so that our staff can give you the service that you need.
Yeah, you can't walk in at 4:30 and expect that you're going to be done by 5 o'clock, right? That is probably not going to happen. Okay, gotcha. All right.
If it's a road test, not. If it's a simple renewal, it could be quick, but road test takes a while.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're taking your questions when we come back.